Welcome to my amazing English learner. Let me ask you one question. Have you ever studied English for months, watched hundreds of videos, learned grammar rules, memorized vocabulary, but still felt scared to read even one simple English page? What if I tell you that just 30 minutes of reading every day can slowly change your English without making you study for hours? Today, I'll show you exactly why reading is the most powerful habit for English learners, how your brain learns from it, and how thousands of successful learners improve naturally through reading. But there's one mistake almost every beginner makes while reading, and if you avoid it, your progress can become much faster. So stay with me until the end. Comment below. Do you read English every day, or do you find reading difficult? I read every comment. Chapter 1. Why most English learners stay stuck. Every year, millions of people decide to learn English. They buy grammar books. They download language learning apps. They watch YouTube videos every day. They write long vocabulary lists in their notebooks. They feel excited in the beginning because they believe they will speak English confidently very soon. But after a few weeks or a few months, something changes. They still cannot understand simple English stories. They still feel nervous while reading. They still translate every sentence into their own language. Slowly, they lose hope. They start thinking, maybe English is not for me. If these thoughts have ever come into your mind, I want you to know something very important. You are not failing because you are weak. You are struggling because you are following the wrong method. Today we are going to understand the real reason why so many learners stay stuck, and why reading English for just 30 minutes every day can completely change your learning journey. Many students believe that learning English means memorizing as many words as possible. They fill page after page with new vocabulary. Every day they learn 20 or 30 new words. It feels like they are making progress, but after a few days, they forget most of those words. Then they become disappointed. This happens because our brain does not like learning words alone. Our brain remembers words much better when they appear inside real sentences. When you read, you do not only learn a word, you also learn how that word is used. You learn where it belongs. You learn which words usually come before it and after it. That is why reading is so powerful. The same thing happens with grammar. Many learners spend hours studying grammar rules. They know the names of different tenses. They solve grammar exercises. But when they try to read a simple paragraph, everything suddenly becomes confusing. Why? Because grammar is not only about rules. Grammar is about seeing those rules in real English again and again. Every sentence you read becomes a small grammar lesson. After reading many sentences, your brain starts to recognize patterns naturally. One day you stop thinking about grammar rules because the correct sentences simply feel right. This is exactly how language grows inside your mind. Think about how children learn their first language. Nobody gives them a grammar book when they are 2 years old. Nobody asks them to memorize hundreds of words every week. They listen, they observe, they hear the same sentences many times. Slowly, without even realizing it, they begin speaking naturally. Your English brain also learns through repeated exposure. Reading gives your brain this daily exposure. Every page is another chance for your brain to become familiar with English. One mistake keeps many beginners from improving. They believe that difficult books will make them smarter. They choose books that are far above their level. On the first page, they find many unknown words. They stop after every sentence to check the dictionary. After a few minutes, reading becomes tiring. They lose interest. Finally, they close the book and never open it again. Then they blame themselves. But the truth is very different. The problem is not your ability. The problem is choosing something that is too difficult. Learning should challenge you, but it should not make you feel defeated. Imagine trying to lift a very heavy weight on your first day in the gym. You would probably fail, and you might even get hurt. A good coach always starts with lighter weights. As your muscles become stronger, the weight becomes heavier. English works in the same way. You should begin with easy reading. As your skills improve, you slowly move to more difficult books. This simple step keeps your confidence alive and helps you enjoy the learning process. There is another reason why reading changes your English. Reading gives you real English instead of isolated information. You see conversations. You see questions and answers. You see common expressions that people actually use. You learn how ideas connect. You notice punctuation. You improve your spelling without trying. You become familiar with sentence structure. Little by little, your brain starts collecting thousands of examples of correct English. Later, when you speak or write, those examples help you create your own sentences more naturally. Many learners think they need to study for 5 or 6 hours every day to become fluent. This belief makes English feel difficult before they even begin. The truth is much simpler. You do not need to study all day. You need to stay consistent. 30 minutes of focused reading every day is much more powerful than studying for 5 hours once a week. Small daily habits always beat big efforts that happen only sometimes. Think about a drop of water falling on a rock. One drop cannot change the rock, but thousands of drops falling every day slowly leave a mark. Reading works the same way. One day may not change your English. One week may not feel very different. But after 1 month, you will notice that you understand more words. After 3 months, you will read faster. After 6 months, your confidence will be much stronger. These small improvements keep growing because every page teaches your brain something new. Never compare your journey with someone else's. Every learner starts from a different place. Some people have more time, some people have better schools, some people started earlier. None of that matters. What matters is what you do today. If you read just one page today, you are already moving forward. Tomorrow, read another page. Keep repeating this simple habit. One day you will look back and realize how far you have come. The most successful English learners are not always the smartest people. They are the people who refuse to give up. They understand that every small step matters. They keep reading even when progress feels slow. They trust the process. That is the secret you should remember from today. Do not chase perfection. Chase consistency. Every sentence you read is building a stronger English mind. Now you know why so many learners stay stuck. It is not because they are untalented. It is because they spend too much time studying about English and too little time living with English. Reading allows English to become a natural part of your daily life. And something amazing begins to happen inside your brain when you do this every single day. In the next chapter, you will discover how your brain learns English through reading and why this simple habit becomes more powerful with every page you read. Chapter 2. What happens inside your brain when you read English every day? There is something amazing about your brain. It is learning all the time, even when you do not notice it. Many people think learning English only happens when they sit with a grammar book or memorize vocabulary. But your brain works in a different way. It loves patterns. It loves repetition. When you read English every day, your brain quietly starts building new connections. You may feel that nothing is changing, but deep inside, your brain is becoming stronger with every sentence you read. This is why many successful English learners say that one day they suddenly realized English had become much easier. It was not magic. It was the result of small daily reading sessions. Think about the first time you learned to recognize the letters of the alphabet. At first, every letter looked strange. You had to stop and think before saying its name. But after seeing those letters again and again, you no longer had to think. Today, you recognize them in just a second. Reading English works in exactly the same way. At first, every sentence feels slow. Your eyes move carefully from one word to another. Sometimes you stop because you see an unfamiliar word. Sometimes you read the same line twice. This is completely normal. Your brain is learning something new, and every new skill takes time. One day, something interesting begins to happen. You start noticing words that you have seen before. At first, you may not even remember where you saw them, but your brain remembers. The word no longer feels strange. Then you see it again in another story, and again in another article. Without trying hard, you begin to understand its meaning. This is much stronger than memorizing a word from a vocabulary list because now your brain has seen the word in different situations. It understands how people really use it. The same thing happens with grammar. Many beginners worry because they cannot remember grammar rules. They forget the difference between tenses. They become confused by long explanations. But when you read every day, your brain starts collecting examples of correct English. You read sentences like, "She goes to school every day." Then you read, "They play football every Sunday." Later you read, "He drinks coffee every morning." After seeing these patterns many times, your brain begins to understand them naturally. You may not even think about the grammar rule anymore. The sentence simply sounds correct. This is one of the biggest gifts that reading gives you. Another wonderful change happens little by little. You stop translating every single word into your own language. In the beginning, many learners read one English sentence and then immediately translate it in their minds. This makes reading slow and tiring, but when you keep reading every day, your brain becomes familiar with common expressions. Instead of translating, you begin to understand the idea directly in English. This makes reading faster and much more enjoyable. It also prepares you for listening and speaking because real conversations happen quickly. There is no time to translate every word. Reading also improves your memory without making you feel like you're studying. Imagine you read the sentence, "The little boy opened the window because the room was hot." Later, you read another sentence about opening a door. Then another story talks about opening a gift. Slowly, your brain connects the word open with many different situations. Now you do not only know the meaning of the word, you know how people use it in real life. This is how your vocabulary becomes stronger and more useful. Many learners become worried because they forget new words after one day. Please do not let this discourage you. Forgetting is a normal part of learning. Even native speakers forget things. The important thing is that reading brings those words back again and again. Every time you see the same word, your memory becomes a little stronger. One day, that word becomes part of your active vocabulary. You can understand it quickly, and later you can even use it while speaking. Reading also changes the way you write. You may not notice this at first, but your brain is always watching how sentences are formed. It notices where commas are used. It notices how ideas are connected. It notices how questions are asked and how answers are given. Later, when you write your own sentences, Your brain remembers these patterns. That is why people who read regularly usually become better writers without taking special writing classes. There is another benefit that many beginners do not expect. Reading improves your confidence. Every finished page tells your brain, I can do this. Every completed story removes a little bit of fear. The book that looked difficult last month suddenly feels easy today. This small success gives you the courage to continue. Confidence is not something that appears overnight. It grows every time you complete another reading session. Some learners become impatient because they cannot see fast results. They think they are wasting their time, but imagine filling a glass with drops of water. One drop looks very small. 2 drops also look small. Even 10 drops may not seem important. But if you keep adding drops, the glass slowly fills up. Reading works exactly like this. Every page is another drop. Every paragraph adds something valuable to your English. The changes are small in the beginning, but after weeks and months, they become impossible to ignore. There is one more thing you should remember. Your brain learns best when you enjoy the process. If reading feels like punishment, you will not continue for long. But if you enjoy the stories, the conversations, or the topics you read, your brain stays active and interested. Learning becomes easier because you're focused on understanding the message instead of worrying about making mistakes. Now you can see why reading is much more than looking at words on a page. It trains your brain to recognize patterns. It grows your vocabulary naturally. It makes grammar easier to understand. It improves your writing. It prepares you for speaking. It builds confidence one sentence at a time. All of this happens because you choose to spend just 30 minutes each day with English. But there is one important question. Should you read any English book you find? The answer is no. Choosing the wrong book can make learning slow and frustrating. Choosing the right book can make reading enjoyable and help you improve much faster. In the next chapter, you will learn exactly what beginners should read, what they should avoid, and how to choose reading material that makes English feel easier every single day. Chapter 3. What should beginners read? Now you understand that reading every day can change the way your brain learns English. But there is one question that many beginners ask. What should I read? This question is very important because the right reading material can make learning fun, while the wrong one can make you feel tired and frustrated. Many learners give up not because reading is difficult, but because they choose books that are too difficult. This is one of the biggest mistakes you should avoid. Imagine a child who has just learned to walk. Would you ask that child to run in a race? Of course not. First, the child learns to take one step, then another step. After many days of practice, running becomes possible. Learning English follows the same path. You should not begin with difficult novels or advanced newspapers. If you do, your confidence will disappear very quickly. Start with something simple. Simple does not mean childish. Simple means suitable for your current level. Many beginners think that reading easy books is a waste of time. They believe difficult books will help them improve faster. This sounds logical, but it is not true. When a book is too hard, you spend more time looking at the dictionary than reading the story. After every sentence, you stop. Your attention breaks. You forget what you just read. Instead of enjoying English, you start fighting with it. After a few days, you lose motivation and stop reading completely. A much better idea is to choose books where you understand most of the words. You do not need to understand every single word. If you understand about 90% of the page, that is enough. Your brain can guess the meaning of many new words from the sentence. This is a natural way to learn. Native speakers also guess the meaning of new words when they read. They do not stop for every unfamiliar word, and you should not do that either. So, what can you read if you are a beginner? The first choice is short English stories written for learners. These stories use simple words and easy grammar. They are interesting and help you build confidence. Every finished story gives you a feeling of success. That feeling is very important because it motivates you to continue. Another great choice is children's books. Some people feel embarrassed when they hear this suggestion. They think children's books are only for children. But remember, these books are written with simple language. They teach useful vocabulary and everyday sentences. Even many advanced learners read children's books when they start learning a new language. There is nothing wrong with learning step by step. You can also read graded readers. These books are specially written for English learners. They come in different levels. If you're a beginner, start with the easiest level. As your English improves, you can move to the next level. This gives you a clear path of progress. Instead of feeling lost, you know exactly what to read next. Simple news articles are also a good option. Today, many websites write news in easy English. The sentences are short, and the vocabulary is easier to understand. Reading these articles helps you learn words that people use in daily life. At the same time, you stay informed about the world around you. This makes reading both useful and interesting. Do you enjoy watching movies or TV shows? Then, subtitles can also become your reading practice. Instead of only listening, pay attention to the words on the screen. You will notice common expressions that people use every day. Later, when you read books, those same expressions will look familiar. Slowly, your reading and listening skills will grow together. Another excellent idea is to read about topics that you already love. Maybe you enjoy football. Maybe you like cooking, technology, travel, animals, or health. When you read about something you enjoy, your brain stays interested. You become curious about the information, and you forget that you're actually studying English. This makes learning feel easier and more enjoyable. There is another mistake that many beginners make. They believe they must finish every book they start. That is not true. If a book is too difficult or too boring, choose another one. Reading should become a daily habit, not a daily punishment. The goal is to stay consistent. A simple book that you finish is much better than a difficult book that stays on your table for months. Do not worry if you see unknown words while reading. That is completely normal. Every book will contain some new vocabulary. The important thing is not to panic. Keep reading and try to understand the main idea. Many words become clear because of the sentence around them. If a word appears many times and seems important, you can write it down and check its meaning later. But do not stop after every line. Keep moving forward. Your brain learns better when the reading flows naturally. One beautiful thing about reading is that every book prepares you for the next one. The first story may feel slow. The second story becomes easier. By the fifth or sixth story, you will notice that your reading speed has improved. Words that once looked difficult now feel familiar. This is real progress. It may happen quietly, but it is happening every single day. Always remember that your goal is not to impress other people by reading difficult books. Your goal is to improve your English. There is no prize for choosing the hardest book. The real success is building a habit that you can continue every day. Even 30 minutes of easy reading is more valuable than 5 minutes of reading something that makes you want to quit. As you continue this journey, you will discover that choosing the right book is only one part of the process. The next question is just as important. Even if you have the perfect book in your hands, are you reading it in the right way? Many learners unknowingly make mistakes that slow down their progress. The good news is that these mistakes are easy to fix. In the next chapter, I will show you exactly how to read English correctly so that every page helps you improve faster and with more confidence. Chapter 4: How to read English correctly for maximum improvement. Now you have the right book in your hands. That is a great start. But there is something even more important. The way you read can decide how much you learn. Two people can read the same book for the same amount of time, but one person improves much faster. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is the reading method. If you read in the right way, every page becomes a powerful English lesson. If you read in the wrong way, you may spend hours with a book and still feel that nothing has changed. The first thing you should remember is very simple. Do not try to understand every single word. This is the biggest mistake beginners make. They stop after every new word. They open the dictionary again and again. After a few minutes, they forget the story because all their attention goes to finding meanings. Reading becomes slow and stressful. Soon they feel tired, and they close the book. Instead, focus on understanding the main idea. Ask yourself one question. What is happening in this story? If you can answer that question, you are reading successfully. It is perfectly normal to see a few unknown words. You do not need to know every word to understand the message. In fact, this is how children read in their own language. They also meet new words, but they keep reading because they understand the main idea. Let your brain do some of the work. When you see a new word, look at the sentence around it. Look at the words before it and after it. Very often, the sentence gives you a clue. You may not know the exact meaning, but you can guess the general idea. This is an important skill. The more you practice it, the stronger your reading ability becomes. For example, imagine you read this sentence. It was raining heavily, so Anna opened her umbrella. Even if you do not know the word umbrella, you can guess that it is something people use when it rains. Your brain is learning through the situation. This kind of learning stays in your memory much longer than simply reading a dictionary definition. Another useful habit is to keep reading without stopping too often. Read one full paragraph before thinking about difficult words. After you finish the paragraph, ask yourself what it was about. If you understood the main idea, you're doing well. If one word is very important and appears many times, then you can check its meaning, but only after you finish reading that part. Many learners also ask if they should read aloud or silently. The answer is both. Silent reading helps you read faster and understand ideas more easily. Reading aloud helps improve your pronunciation and builds confidence. You do not need to read every page aloud. Choose one short paragraph each day. Read it slowly and clearly. Listen to your own voice. Do not worry if your pronunciation is not perfect. Every day you will become a little better. Another powerful habit is reading the same passage more than once. Some people think this is a waste of time. It is not. The first time you read, you understand the story. The second time, you notice new words and sentence patterns. The third time, your reading becomes faster and smoother. Every time you read again, your brain becomes more familiar with the language. This is one of the easiest ways to build confidence. Now let us talk about vocabulary. Many students keep long vocabulary lists with hundreds of words. After 1 week, they forget most of them. A better idea is to write down only useful words or short phrases that you really want to remember. Even better, write the whole sentence instead of only the word. A sentence shows you how the word is used. Later, when you read your notebook, you will remember the meaning much more easily. For example, instead of writing only the word borrow, write the sentence, "Can I borrow your book?" Now your brain remembers both the meaning and the correct way to use the word. This simple habit makes your vocabulary much more useful. Another good idea is to spend just a few minutes reviewing what you learned. You do not need 1 hour. Even 5 minutes is enough. Read the new sentences in your notebook. Try to remember the story you read. This quick review tells your brain that the information is important. As a result, your memory becomes stronger. Please do not compare your reading speed with other people. Some learners read quickly because they have been practicing for years. Your goal is not to become fast today. Your goal is to become better every day. Speed will come naturally. First, build understanding. Then speed will follow. There will be days when reading feels easy. There will also be days when it feels difficult. Do not let those difficult days stop you. Every learner has them. Even people who speak English very well still learn new words. The important thing is to keep your daily habit alive. If you only have 15 minutes one day, read for 15 minutes. If you have 30 minutes, read for 30 minutes. Never break the habit. Think about building a house. You do not finish it in one day. One brick is placed on top of another. At first, it does not look like much, but after many days, you can clearly see a strong house. Reading works in exactly the same way. Every page is another brick. Every sentence makes your English a little stronger. One day, you will look back and realize that the fear you once had has disappeared. Now you know how to read in a smart way. You know that you should focus on the main idea. Avoid stopping for every word. Guess meanings from the context. Read aloud sometimes. Read silently most of the time. Keep a small notebook and review useful sentences. These simple habits can make a huge difference in your progress. The next question is very practical. How can you fit reading into your busy life? Many people say they do not have enough time. The truth is that you do not need hours every day. You only need a simple routine that is easy to follow. In the next chapter, I will show you the perfect 30-minute daily reading routine that can help you improve your English step by step without feeling tired or overwhelmed. Chapter 5: The perfect 30-minute daily reading routine. Many people want to improve their English, but they do not know where to begin. Some study for 3 hours on one day and then do nothing for the next 5 days. Others wait for the perfect time to start. They think, "I will begin next Monday," or "I will start when I have more free time." But that perfect day never comes. The secret is much simpler than most people think. You do not need a perfect schedule. You only need 30 minutes and the decision to stay consistent. 30 minutes may sound like a small amount of time, but do not underestimate it. Small actions repeated every day create big results. Imagine saving just 1 coin every day. At first, it does not look like much. But after many months, those small savings become something valuable. Reading English works in the same way. One day of reading may not change your life. 30 days of reading will make you notice a difference. 1 year of reading can completely change your English. Let me show you a simple routine that almost anyone can follow. It does not matter if you're a student, an office worker, a business owner, or a busy parent. This routine is easy, practical, and powerful. Start with the first 5 minutes. Open your book and relax. Do not think about grammar rules or difficult vocabulary. Just begin reading. Your goal during these first few minutes is to help your brain enter English mode. Read slowly and comfortably. There is no need to rush, even if you understand only part of the first page. Keep going with a calm mind. Now spend the next 15 minutes reading continuously. This is the most important part of your routine. Focus on the story or the article. Do not stop every time you see a new word. Keep your eyes moving forward. Try to understand the main idea. Imagine the scenes in your mind. If the story is about a family, picture the family. If it is about travel, imagine the places. This simple habit helps your brain connect English with real ideas instead of only words. After these 15 minutes, take 5 minutes to review what you have just read. Ask yourself simple questions. What was the story about? Who were the main people? What happened first? What happened at the end? You do not need perfect English to answer these questions. Even short answers are enough. This small review helps your brain remember the information much better. Now use the last 5 minutes wisely. Open your notebook and write only a few useful words or sentences. Do not write 20 or 30 new words. That will only make you feel tired. Choose 3 or 4 expressions that you think are useful in daily life. Write the whole sentence, not just the word. Reading complete sentences helps your brain remember how English is really used. If you have a little extra time, read one short paragraph aloud before closing your book. Speak slowly and clearly. Do not worry about making mistakes. Every time you hear your own voice, your confidence grows. At first, you may feel shy. That feeling is normal. The more you practice, the more natural speaking English will become. Some days will be busy. You may come home feeling tired. On those days, your mind may tell you to skip reading. This is the moment when your habit becomes truly important. Even if you can read for only 10 or 15 minutes, do it. A short reading session is much better than no reading at all. Never let one busy day become one busy week. Another helpful idea is to choose the same time every day. Maybe you like reading in the morning with a cup of tea. Maybe you prefer reading before going to bed. The exact time is not important. What matters is making it part of your daily life. When reading becomes a habit, you no longer need to force yourself. It becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. Please do not expect miracles after 1 week. Many learners quit because they cannot see fast results. Remember what we discussed earlier. Your brain is changing quietly. Every page you read is building stronger English skills. One day you will open a book and suddenly realize that you understand much more than before. That moment feels wonderful because you know your hard work is finally showing results. Let us imagine your progress over time. After 1 month of daily reading, you will begin to recognize many common words without thinking. After 3 months, your reading speed will become faster and simple sentences will feel much easier. After 6 months, you will notice that understanding English videos and conversations also becomes easier because your vocabulary has grown naturally. After 1 year, you may look back and smile because the person who was once afraid of reading has become someone who enjoys reading every day. Do not worry if your progress looks different from someone else's. Every learner has a unique journey. Some people improve quickly in reading. Others improve quickly in speaking. What matters is that you continue moving forward. Success in English is not about being perfect. It is about refusing to stop. Always celebrate your consistency. Do not only celebrate finishing a big book, celebrate reading today. Celebrate keeping your promise to yourself. Every small victory builds a stronger habit, and every strong habit creates a better future. There is one final lesson that many successful English learners understand. It is not about talent. It is not about age. It is not even about having the best teacher. There is one quality that separates people who achieve their goals from those who give up halfway. It is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. In the final chapter, you will discover that secret, and it may completely change the way you think about learning English forever. Chapter 6: The Secret That Makes Reading Change Your Life. We have talked about why reading is important. We have learned what happens inside your brain when you read every day. We have discussed how to choose the right books and how to read them correctly. We have even created a simple 30-minute daily routine. Now there is one final lesson. This lesson is the most important of all, because without it, every good plan will fail. The secret is consistency. Many people believe successful English learners have a special talent. They think those people have a better memory or a higher IQ. Some even say, "They are lucky, I am not." But if you ask learners who became fluent, most of them will tell you the same thing. They did not become better because they were smarter. They became better because they never stopped. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first day is not easy. You may lose your balance, you may even fall down. But imagine if you stopped after your first fall. You would never learn to ride. English is exactly the same. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. You will read sentences that you do not understand. These moments are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are learning. Many people start with great excitement. On the first day, they read for 1 hour. On the second day, they study grammar. On the third day, they watch English videos. Then life becomes busy. They miss one day. After that, they miss another day. Soon, weeks pass without any practice. When they finally return, they feel like they are starting from the beginning again. Do not let this happen to you. It is much better to read for 30 minutes every day than to study for 5 hours once a week. Your brain learns through regular practice. Every day you read, you remind your brain that English is important. Slowly, English becomes a natural part of your life. There will be days when you feel excited to read. There will also be days when you feel tired. On those difficult days, remember your reason for learning English. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to study in another country. Maybe you want to travel without fear. Maybe you want to speak confidently with people from around the world. Whatever your reason is, keep it in your heart. Let it push you forward when your motivation becomes weak. Another important thing is to stop saying, "I am trying to learn English." Instead, start saying, "I am a person who reads English every day." This small change is very powerful. When reading becomes part of your identity, you no longer wait for motivation. You simply do what you have decided to do. Do not be afraid of slow progress. Slow progress is still progress. Imagine climbing a mountain. Every step feels small. Sometimes you look around and think you have not moved very far. But if you keep climbing, one day you reach the top. Then you look back and realize how far you have come. Your English journey is exactly like that. There will be moments when you surprise yourself. One day, you will understand an English sentence without translating it. Another day, You will recognize a word that used to confuse you. Then you will watch a video and understand more than before. These small moments are proof that your hard work is paying off. Enjoy them. They are signs that you are moving in the right direction. Never compare yourself with someone who has been learning English for 5 or 10 years. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. If you know one more word today, that is progress. If you read one more page today, that is progress. If you feel a little more confident today, that is progress. Small improvements become big success when they happen every day. I also want you to remember that making mistakes is normal. Do not feel embarrassed when you pronounce a word incorrectly or misunderstand a sentence. Every mistake teaches you something new. Every mistake makes you stronger. The people who become fluent are not the people who never make mistakes. They are the people who keep learning from them. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 1 year from today. You pick up an English book and you read it with confidence. You watch English videos and understand most of what you hear. You speak without feeling afraid. You write messages in English more easily. You smile because you remember the days when even one page looked difficult. That future version of you is not impossible. It is waiting for the choices you make today. Everything begins with one simple habit. Read for 30 minutes every day. Some days will feel easy, some days will feel difficult. Keep reading anyway. Every page is making your English stronger. Every sentence is building your confidence. Every day is bringing you closer to your dream. Before this video ends, I want to ask you for one small promise. Promise yourself that you will not wait for the perfect time. Start today. Even if you read only one page after this video, you have already taken the first step. Remember, great success is not built in one day. It is built one day at a time. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please support the channel by clicking the like button. Subscribe for more simple and practical English lessons that will help you improve step by step. And now I want to hear from you. Write this sentence in the comments. I will read English for 30 minutes every day. That comment is more than just words. It is a promise to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning, keep believing in yourself, and I will see you in the next video.